It has no bearing on the ICC. I think this is really for Philippine domestic political purposes. So let's not forget the victims. They have the right to justice. Let's stop the disinformation with respect to the ICC proceedings.
Magandang umaga po mga kababayan. Ito na naman si Kalikonde para sa isa namang episode ng Open Talk, ng ating munting podcast. Pero bago natin simulan ang ating episode na to, nais ko lang pong magpa-rating ng taus-pusong pakikiramay at dalamhati dun sa mga biktima ng lindol sa Cebu. Lalo na dun sa mga kamag-anak namin na nandyan sa Bogo City mismo. May mga pamangkin, mga kamag-anak din kami na nasa Cebu City at meron din sa malapit sa Bogo sa Tuburan. Sana ay natatanggap niyo ang mga tulong na dapat niyong matanggap. Nakikiramay po kami at sana'y matugunan ang lahat ng inyong mga pangailangan. Sa episode po na to, pag-uusapan natin ang update sa International Criminal Court sa The Hague kung saan nakapiit ngayon si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kagabi, nagpasa ng resolusyon ang Senado na nananawagan sa ICC na ilagay daw sa house arrest itong si dating Pangulong Duterte for humanitarian reasons. Majority ng mga nasa session kahapon ay bumoto ng pabor doon sa resolution na yun. Yan po ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Kasama po natin ngayon para talakayin ito ay si Attorney Gilbert Andres. Siya po ang Executive Director ng Center for International Law. Nasa The Hague po siya ngayon para tutukan itong nangyayaring paglilitis kay Mr. Duterte. At siya po ay isa sa mga abogado na nagre-represent at sumusuporta sa mga biktima ng crimes against humanity nga na kaso na hinaharap ngayon ni Mr. Duterte. Magandang umaga, Attorney Gilbert Andres, at salamat sa pagpapaunlak sa panayam na ito.
Magandang umaga, Kaloy, at magandang gabi rin mula sa Europe.
Yeah, okay. Now, Attorney Gilbert, let's dive right into it. So the Senate yesterday passed this resolution urging the ICC to consider house arrest for the former president. What's your immediate reaction to that? And more importantly, I think, does this have any bearing at all?
Well, to answer your question, it has no bearing on the ICC. And to be very candid, I think this is really for Philippine domestic political purposes that the Senate passed this resolution, because the ICC does not consider all of these political statements. But having said that, number one, a house arrest is not even contemplated in the ICC Rome Statute. If you look at through Article 58, hindi po nakalagay doon yung any provision for house arrest. Wala din po sa Rules of Procedure and Evidence o yung issue ng house arrest.
Mhm.
Number two is that it's important to know na house arrest is really a Philippine political phenomenon. This
Yeah.
is special treatment for politicians, such as
Okay.
GMA, for example, before.
Hospital arrest naman yun. Oh.
Hospital arrest. So that's why I think number three is that there's an issue of fairness in this.
Okay.
Because detainees in the ICC are really in the Scheveningen detention center. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there was any case of a house arrest for an ICC detainee.
Yeah.
So what the Senate's really asking for is special favor from the ICC. But the ICC looks at it from a fairness standpoint.
Mhm.
And I also want to reiterate, Kaloy, as to the well-being of any ICC detainee, the ICC actually applies international standards. Oo, kasi talagang pinapangalagaan nila yung health, mental wellness po ng isang detainee. Kaya kung ano man pong mga allegations tungkol sa health concerns ni Mr. Duterte, talaga pong tinitingnan po yan ng ICC round the clock.
Yeah, that's important to point out, Attorney, kasi yun yung basis ng, apparently, yan yung basis ng resolution at saka yan yung pinapakalat ng mga kampo ni former President Duterte dito, lalo na ng kanyang anak na si VP Sara, na parang napakakalunus-lunos yung kondisyon Presidente Duterte diyan sa The Hague na parang may nabasa pa nga yata ako na inhuman daw yung condition doon sa loob. Parang sandali. We're talking about the ICC has been very very transparent about what it affords its detainees, and we saw naman yung condition niya ng mga cell niya, no? But is there any hint at all sa palagay nyo dun sa sinasabi nilang hindi maayos sa pagtrato kay Presidente Duterte dito?
There's no hint at all. And I think that's really contrary to the rules and procedure and regulations of the ICC. Kasi yun nga, actually for context lang, Kaloy, may good source akong nagsabi, before pa to
Mhm.
nung 2017, na ang per person, per day sa ICC, o yung yung the cost
Mhm.
o detention per day per person, mas mahal pa sa isang five-star hotel.
Oh.
Bakit? Nandun po yung health and wellness. Oo. Kasi pinoprovide po yan. Kung mayroon pong kahit na hating gabi po na may nangyari sa detainee po, naka-alarma ang ICC. Pati na rin yung security. Pati yung pagkain. Kung gusto ng isang detainee, roti pata, o gusto po ng detainee na kanin, talagang binibigay po yan ng ICC. Kaya talo pa po nito ang isang five-star hotel. Kaya there's really, wala pong puwang na sabihin po na inhumane, no? Dahil ICC is an international court.
Yeah.
So it really adopts international standards for detainees.
Yeah. I mean, as the way I look at it, he couldn't be in a better, you know, predicament right now. Labas pa yan doon sa usapin na yan, lagi yung sinasabi nga ngayon na ikumpara nyo to sa kung paano nila tinrata yung mga detainees sa Philippines during the drug war. Related na usapan yan. Pero okay, now that we got that out of the way, na walang basihan na pagkiklaim na merong humanitarian concerns regarding Mr. Duterte kasi inaalagaan naman siya ng maayos doon. His welfare, his health is a priority naman ng ICC. So, nabanggit nyo kanina, this is the Senate resolution. Ano ito ng mga senador sa domestic audience, sa mga Pilipino? Can you elaborate on that? How did you come to that kind of perspective?
Kasi una, Kaloy, hindi naman talaga kinoconsider yan ng ICC, ano? Kasi ang tinitingnan ng ICC ay yung articles. Article 58 ng Rome Statute. O titingnan lang na talaga nila kung number one, yung mga naging condition, bakit in-issue yung arrest warrant, does it still persist until now? Kasi bakit in-issue yung arrest warrant against Mr. Rodrigo Duterte? Kasi merong pwedeng security risk sa victims at sa mga witnesses. At secondly, the Rodrigo Duterte still has that influence. In fact, it's not just Duterte, but the Duterte family. Yan yung sa side ng ICC, ano? Sa side naman ng Philippine domestic politics, I think this is really flexing yung Duterte clout in the Senate. It's really sends a signal that there's a majority, 15, ano? In fact, even the Senate President abstained. That's very
Mhm.
telling, ano? So it's really flexing the political clout of the Dutertes across the political spectrum in the Philippines. Kaya nasabi ko, this is really for Philippine domestic purposes.
So they're playing to their audience, to their crowd, and also I think feel free to counter this view, Attorney Gilbert, is that ang tingin ko dito parang this is these senators are communicating to the Marcos administration or to the public basically that whatever else that may happen after this, halimbawa yung laging pinag-uusapan na baka ang aarestuhin sa susunod ay si Senator Bato de la Rosa at iba pa, mapuput under pressure kumbaga yung Marcos administration not to cooperate with the ICC because now they've communicated na kumbaga we're willing to defend the Duterte camp or yung mga tao ni Duterte. Do you see it also that way na parang aside from flexing dun sa mga audience sa mga crowd ng mga Dutertes, they're also hindi naman intimidating but telling the Marcos administration na oy hinay-hinay kayo okay makipag-cooperate pag ina-arresto niyo si Bato.
Well, that may be one of the political intentions, why this Senate resolution was passed, But having said that, also want to add that if there will be any arrest warrant based on the investigation of the OTP, the Philippines will once again be obligated under its residual obligations. I just want to argue from a principle perspective,
Mhm.
na mayroon pa po tayong natitirang mga obligasyon kahit po umalis ang Pilipinas o sa ICC. At gusto ko ring i-emphasize, Kaloy, na no less than the Republic Act 9851, yung IHL Act natin, actually provides Section 17 that Philippine authorities may surrender anyone who's being investigated or prosecuted before an international criminal tribunal. Kaya kung
Mhm.
mayroon pa pong mga ilalabas na arrest warrant, kagaya po kay, sabihin na natin, kay Miss Senator Bato de la Rosa. Kasi mukhang all over yung kanyang pangalan doon sa pre-trial brief ng
Mhm.
prosecution I hope and I really pray that President Marcos Jr. will still use RA 9851 kasi
Yeah.
yun din naman ang ginamit doon kay Mr. Duterte. Dapat patas lang.
Mhm.
Oo.
Pero of course, Attorney Gilbert, you know na the Marcos administration is under tremendous political pressure because of all these things that are happening, itong mga corruption scandals now. So a lot of these things are coming into play. At yun ang worry nga ng marami dito. Paano baka gagawing leverage ng Marcos administration itong whatever that's happening in the ICC to try to protect itself from any political, kasi ang isa sa mga fear dito, isa sa mga paningin is that andyan pa rin naman yung DDS Duterte support. But one of the kumbaga concern is that ayaw nilang masyadong palakihin yun. They're trying to make to prevent a possibility na itong DDS support na to ay magiging napakalaking anti-BBM movement na malalagay sa alanganin ang administration ni BBM. So parang yun isa sa mga views doon. So that makes it vulnerable to pressure politics like this one.
Sige, dalawang sagot, Kaloy, Number one, that's really political, analytics,
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget yung victims of
Yeah.
the Philippine Wars. There are at least 6,000 admitted by the Philippine National Police who were killed during police operations. CSO numbers 15,000 to 30,000 na po yan, na cite po yan dun sa OTP request for authorization noong May 2021. So let's not forget the victims all across the Philippines. They have the right to justice, right to access to justice, and the right to the truth. Ikalawa, my gut feel tells me most of the Filipinos, the silent majority, are actually pro-justice and
Okay.
pro-ICC proceedings. So I think ang appeal ko sa Marcos Jr. administration, normative. Look at the interest of the victims. Look at the right to justice of the victims. And also, listen to the silent majority. Kasi sa tingin ko, talagang mas marami pong Pilipino na gusto po ng hustisya para po sa nangyaring war on drugs.
Hindi lang sila kasing ingay ng mga ang mga nasa social media ng mga Duterte supporters. And that's a very important point, Attorney Gilbert, the victims. Because in all of these political wranglings, itong mga napakalalang mga issues dito sa Pilipinas, laging nakakalimutan nga yung mga victims. And we're just talking about, ilan lang ba yung mga victims na actually andyan sa The Hague or di kaya nagbigay ng impormasyon, nagpahayag na tumulong sa prosecution. Marami pa ang hindi pa lumalabas. At hanggang ngayon ay pinagkakaitan pa rin ng boses. So I think kailangan yun nga, tama yung sinabi nyo, na kailangan i-center natin yung usapin dito dun sa mga biktima. No? So on that point, Attorney Gilbert, ano yung tingin mo ini-expect ngayon ng mga biktima moving forward sa mga processes na to sa ICC? Kasi yun nga, hindi natuloy yung confirmation of charges ng 23. Ano na ang ini-expect nilang mangyayari afterwards?
Oo. Una, Kaloy, they really expect na matuloy na yung confirmation of charges. Ang tagal na rin nilang naghintay eh. At saka sa tingin po ng mga biktima ng war on drugs, talagang fit na fit si Mr. Duterte to stand trial. Kasi meron ng public statement eh. Si VP Sara herself, di ba? I think 2 Fridays ago yun. Public statement na kinausap niya pa si tatay niya at okay naman daw. Nag-usap pa sila tungkol sa politika, sa flood control at sa love life. Obvious naman, Kaloy, na parang ang taong kung nakakausap mo tungkol sa flood control, politika at love life, talagang may cognitive ability. O,
Mhm.
kaya para po sa mga victims, talagang fit na fit to stand trial si Mr. Duterte. Kaya ipapaabot din namin yan sa views and concerns before the pretrial chamber. At ikalawa, they really want this ICC proceedings to continue on. Kasi for context din, Kaloy, this is the first non-African
Mhm.
detained suspect to be
Mhm.
actually arrested. So I think this is really an important case for international criminal justice and for all of the standing arrest warrants against Prime Minister Netanyahu, against former Defense Secretary Yuval of Israel, against Russian President Putin, at mga iba pa, talagang ito lang po yung na-implement. Oo. So,
Yeah.
kaya mahalaga din po ito for international criminal justice.
Yeah, that's true, no? Kailangang maintindihan din ng mga kababayan natin na hindi lang naman dahil kumbaga sinasampulan si Mr. Duterte, but meron ng long-standing criticism against the ICC na nakatutok lang dun sa mga African nations, no? At hindi parang kumbaga, in fact, even yung mga Duterte camp, I think at some point they invoke this criticism against the ICC at dinagdagan pa ito ngayon nung yung pagtiwalag ng tatlong bansa na mga sa Africa din out of the ICC. And then andyan pa yung continuous na attacks, threats against the ICC prosecutors ng bansang katulad ng Estados Unidos, ano. So under tremendous pressure yung ICC to kumbaga to show its relevance pa rin. So itong lagi na nga namin sinasabi na itong nangyayaring pag-aresto nila kay Mr. Duterte, ito yung parang one of the few magagandang balita na nangyari sa ICC. And I don't think basta-basta na lang nilang ano yan, ano, pagbaliwala yung ginawa nila just because the Senate in the Philippines passed this resolution.
Oo, Kaloy. Kaya I also want to add that the ICC, it's not a political body. It's a judicial body. It only looks at the law, the Rome Statute, the rules of procedure and evidence, at mga regulations. So, and it looks at the evidence. Kaya yung kung ano naman pong mga disinformation, let's stop it. Oh.
Mm.
Let's stop the disinformation with respect to the ICC proceedings. Kasi ang daming kaloy yung mga disinformation. Ano?
Yeah.
Mayroong nagsasabi, ilalabas na si Mr. Duterte kasi mayroon ng bansang handa siyang i-accept. Oh, disinformation po yan. Oo.
Mhm.
Kailangan po natin matumutok talaga sa mga facts, sa mga issuances po ng ICC. Kung gusto nyo po, tingnan nyo po talaga yung ICC website. Para alam nyo po at mabasa nyo po kung ano po yung mga pleadings, mga submissions at mga issuances po dun sa ICC. And I'm really making this call, Kaloy, kasi any disinformation, it actually adversely affects the victims of the war on drugs.
Yeah.
Kasi it really raises their anxiety. And alam naman natin, Kaloy, yung do no harm principle, So I really hope and I call on all Philippine sectors to really respect yung victims' right to justice and their right to the truth. Oh.
That's a good call, attorney, especially because right now, excuse me, yung nangyayari ngayon sa ICC is about the only thing na nangyayari ngayon that exists na mapapausad yung kanilang quest for justice kasi nga dito sa Pilipinas matagal na wala silang chance dito na gawin yan, no? So importante yon. So every time people spread disinformation, they're actually victimizing the victims twice over. At yung ano yan yung kumbaga they're playing into the sensitivity ng mga Pilipinos toward, the elderly katulad ni Mr. Duterte sa mga may sakit, and of course the fact that he still has strong support among many Filipinos. But the reality is that, crimes have been committed, and the ICC is looking into that. And of course, as you know, the ICC is very clinical almost about these things. I mean, wala silang pakialam sa domestic politics ng nasasakdal, right? And so tama yun, no? I-echo ko lang, Attorney Gilbert, yung iyong panawagan na talagang we resist the disinformation, look at the facts, and hope and pray na yung mga biktima ay mabigyan ng hustisya soon. Salamat ng marami, Attorney Gilbert Andres, for coming on and explaining these things. And I hope na tuloy-tuloy na yung pag-usad ng kaso. Magandang araw sa iyo, Attorney Gilbert.
Maraming salamat din, Kaloy, at natutuwa po ako sa substantive na discussion natin at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Salamat.